Moving to the right, we see these guys. These are Shy Guys, and we'll be seeing a lot of them in this game. Shy Guys have an interesting history because they don't come from Mario's world at all. In fact, they hail from an obscure Famicom Disk System game called Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic. The game was made as a collaboration between Nintendo and Japanese broadcaster Fuji TV to promote a campaign they were doing for the summer of 1987, and the game stars the 4 characters featured in that campaign. The plot of the game involves characters getting pulled into a storybook, and the heroes have to go in after them. You start Doki Doki Panic by selecting a character and falling from the sky, and on the second screen we find a Shy Guy. Yep, definitely a Shy Guy. So how did these masked weirdos end up in a Yoshi game? Well, if you know your Nintendo history, you might already know this story. When Nintendo developed a sequel to the original Super Mario Bros., they mostly just made new, tougher levels using the original's engine. When it came time to port that game to America, the decision was made to instead convert Doki Doki Panic into a Mario game. Rumors always claimed that Nintendo didn't think Western audiences could handle the original Super Mario Bros. 2, but I didn't find any evidence of that. With this change, suddenly Mario and his friends are in the same game as these Shy Guys, and this enemy from an unrelated game became part of Mario's world by pure coincidence. This is all even weirder when you realize that that game takes place inside Mario's dream. Did Mario's subconscious create the Shy Guys? What does that say about Mario himself? Okay, that's probably a whole different video. This version of Super Mario Bros. 2 was eventually ported back to Japan and called Super Mario USA, and that gave Japanese kids the chance to fight Shy Guys as Mario. For reasons that remain mysterious, years later these Shy Guys would eventually be brought back to be enemies in Yoshi's Island. I have to assume they wanted a fresh cast of enemies because most of the ones we meet in this game are brand new. It definitely helps to give the game its own feel, distinct from the previous Mario games, and many of the enemies play to Yoshi's strengths and weaknesses. Going back to the Shy Guys themselves, these basic ones aren't much of a threat. Later on, we'll see them employ a wide variety of tactics to get in Yoshi's way, so for now I'm just going to put this little guy up here, and we'll keep track as we go along.